it's alright now, Bitcoin, anything you do.
I don't always like videos, but when I do, I always prefer Roth.Crypto. Trade wisely, my friends.
Gary was a man who thought he could do crypto, sharing at the SEC.
You like what you see. Well then, please subscribe, eh? And if you like what I do, then smash that like button too.
Are you trying to find financial freedom by trading and investing in them there cryptocurrencies? But are you having a hard time being profitable and making them winning trades? Well, you can get all that knowledge and a whole lot more just by watching the Crypto Chart School playlist over here at the Road Dogg Crypto channel. You just go right down here where it says Chart School, you click that full playlist, and voila! They got all the knowledge right there.
I'll be there.
There's no music. Let's get over to make sure we got sound here. Welcome everyone to the, I don't know, surprise live that we've got. It's going to be an interesting day. Let's get back to our regular thing here.
For those of you out there,
We got music. Cool.
Thank you very much.
Haters are gonna hate, and I've got to respond to this. I got my first little negative comment. I've been on doing this for 2 years. Not a big channel, small channel, but I finally got my first one and I had to respond to it. Now, a lot of YouTubers, when they get negative comments, they delete them. They don't want them out there. Don't want anything. The comment that I got was from T3 Live Day Trading 4 hours ago. It says, do not, yelling in all caps, do not take the advice from this person. Related to this video over here, the Midnight Show Take 2, I think that was on a Saturday. I can't remember. I thought it was over the weekend. And my response immediately is, well, one, I don't give advice. I share technical analysis, my techniques, the explanation behind them, and my opinions. I never advise somebody to get into a coin or to get into a trade or to do anything. I give you the evidence, the argument, what I see behind it. It's just like a lawyer taking a case to court. This is what I see. The moving averages of this. This is what I got here. This is what I got here. These are the things I'm adding up that makes me lead to believe that a certain thing may or may not happen. And as anyone in trading knows, you're not 100% accurate. But I said, let's discuss and have a conversation about why you feel this way, and let's educate people in the process, because that's a smart thing to do. If this person is an 8-year trader, which is what they claim over here on their site, they over 8 years trading experience, 2 videos out, 3 subscribers over here on YouTube, joined in May 22, 2023. If you've been doing this since 2015, I would expect that you would have a little bit more information as to why. Why? Because leaving a comment like this without that evidence, without that support, it's an emotional comment, which is not good for traders. My response to you is a logical one, not based on emotions. I'm not erasing this. I'm not getting on here and being mad and saying, how dare you? We're coming out and we're talking about it, because today I'm going to go through every coin that I had on that video and explain why. And we're going to look at the results that I got from there, where for some reason, someone this morning watching that video says, don't listen to this guy. Let's walk through it. I think this will be fun. This is going to be educational. So we're going to start over here with Bitcoin. This is the day. This was May 20th. My show starts about 11 p.m. And this is what Bitcoin was doing on, I've got a 15-minute time frame up here. The one thing that I did do on that stream is say, oh, I think this was a Sunday night. I think it was. It was a, I don't know. It's the 20th, whatever. The one thing that I said that I did expect to happen was that the next day that the morning traders will see this as a bull flag and do something crazy, call it a move to the upside to like 76,000. That's what I predicted. And they did. Now, what I was saying is I was given a warning, actually. I was saying, man, we're at the top of this trend line. And usually when you reach the tops of your trend lines, reach the top of your channels, and we got this from a way we took the angle from this bottom and just carried the little guy right here, placed him on top, and they gave us an idea that this was the top of a channel. A little different from what you might see on some places. So some people use this technique a lot. It's a great technique because price does travel in channels, by my theory. This was the line telling you when to get out of the trade. There was 2 things up here saying this may be the top, and that's what I was calling. And when I get this, I always say the same thing, man. If you bounce off the top of this trend line, expect to come and touch the back of this trend line. Doesn't mean it's going to immediately drop back down here. But what happened over days? It came back and touched the bottom of the trend line. And then what happened? Well, we discussed this in the streams prior or after this, you know, and always before. If we break this trend line, we're looking for down. And we even have to measure move to kind of identify the areas that we would come down to. Lo and behold, if that measure move did not hold some weight. Now, did it nail the very bottom? No, it's not supposed to. It's supposed to be an area that has significant support or resistance. That's the basic idea behind the measure move. And you can see that the measure move that we got right here, that's been there, 67,000. Now we came all the way down to 66.2. I think on our other streams that we kind of addressed that, but the biggest thing that I was doing that night was introducing a way that I actually trade, and that's where I was really driving home my trend line strategy, and it nailed it. I'm sorry. Everything that I'm going to show you here, you're going to see that the TA was solid. The TA was solid, and I'm going to prove that. So here was Bitcoin. The next one we looked at was Solana. And I'm just going to come to the daily. Let's go to the daily on these charts. What were we looking for here on Solana? Around the 20th, right here. Same thing in a channel. I guess we may ought to come down to the smaller time frame just so we can. Oh, I'm still in Bitcoin. I'm on Solana. Okay. I thought I had chopped in. Solana. And we just have to find the right. Oh crap. Which chart do we use for Solana? If necessary, I have got the video that we can pull up. So Solana was also up here at the toppy tops. Actually, let's go over here. I've got the videos right over here. I think that's Dot. I don't want to spend too much time. I just I'd like to find the exact same chart that I used that night, and before this video I didn't go through to exactly get it. Let's see which one it was. Solana. Okay, so which KuCoin chart? Let's go see it. Solana on Tether KuCoin. And we're looking for the 20th. About right around midnight, right here in this area. That's where my live stream was. So where was I wrong on this? Trend line telling you when that you can get out. I even explained how you can come to even smaller time frames and use a smaller trend line to tell you where you can draw lines in the sand just to give you an idea where you can exit a trade and take some profits rather than trying to guesstimate where the topsy tops are. This helps you kind of nail those, and that was a strategy that I shared. So for somebody telling me, saying a comment like this, don't take advice from this person, well, I think this person just I have a guess at what happened because it's the same usual story. And it comes down to trade management. But still, someone with 8 years experience, I wouldn't expect to FOMO into just something. But anyway, I was giving you solid ideas and telling you, breaking down what I saw, possibly breaking below the 9 moving average. I'm not going to go through all this stuff, but that's where we are. Hey man, that'd be a good time to take profits because trend is going to change, and trend changed. Trend changed, baby. Trend changed. So that's 2 for 2 so far that we called. BNB is next on my list. Most likely here on Binance. Let's see, this was the 20th, would have been right in here. Was that right? About, okay, wait a minute. Okay, April 24th. Okay, we're not there. April. May. La 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 la. Where I'm getting lost here. 20th. I'm looking for the 20th. May 20th. At that should be it. This is not the same chart that I used, huh? Let's fast forward. I want to use the same exact charts. I should have done this ahead of time. My apologies. I got Dot. Okay, let's go to Dot. Dot is on KuCoin. Let's go with Dot before we do BNB. Or did we? We didn't already just do that, right? Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. It was KuCoin. Where are you, KuCoin? I don't even see you on KuCoin. I know you're there. Where's the chart? That might have been a request for that one on KuCoin too. Dot tether 1 hour KuCoin chart. Let's make sure I stick stuff with that. Yeah, that's what I got. Okay. Why do you, are we? Oh, here we are. Here we are. There we are. Sitting down here. All right. So let's go back to the time period. What happened with DOT? Was I wrong? Did I give you some bad advice? Did I just not see something going on? Did I miss it totally? Did I screw up? Did I just screw it all up? Would have been right here. Oh, I don't even have anything here. I don't see what I was doing. There was an idea of a trade setup at some point. I think we moved this over to the side. Okay, yeah, this I think we did on a bigger time frame. I see nothing other than talking about the possibility if it breaks up above the 200 moving average and come back and retest, and I would have to see that. You know, and we talked about having to confirm a candle up there. We got a 50 crossing the 200. It's not looking, you know, like we're going to. Although a lot of people would probably immediately see that and be shouting to the upside. I mean, we got a target up there, but we also got one down here that we can still come back down to. I mean, there's nothing here. I wish that I had the line drawn, but that's what I was doing that night, saying, so technically you broke that, you need to come down. So if you're looking, you know, this is a scenario we played out. I wasn't saying that's exactly what I was going to do. That was the hopeful. That's what we want to see, and it didn't do it. So we'll leave this one kind of in limbo and go back to the video and hear exactly what I said, because I'm just following what I see on the charts, and I'm not seeing anything that's gone against what I put up on the charts. It's been struggling, and it's going to keep struggling until it gets above there. 50 crossing the 200 is not giving it a great chance to do that just yet. So we may range for a little while before we break up. So that was DOT. Let's go with okay, DOT, and then I went to BCH. Almost skipped that one. And I'm just, okay, BNB. BNB is on KuCoin. Okay. So we did analysis on BNB on KuCoin. Let's go to BNB. And KuCoin right here. So it's pretty much the same as what we had over there. Nothing's changed. We're still in the overall kind of pattern that we're looking at. It's the same. This was... Oh, we're on the days here now, right? We're looking for Monday the 20th. So writing here, is that right? No, that's April. We're looking for May 20th. So right here. So, I mean, there's nothing out of the ordinary that we would have been looking for. I mean, I don't have this on this particular chart, but I'm sure I do. But what I was discussing that night would be to look for the breakout of this, and then this all happened. I see nothing here. We're talking about bouncing off the bottom of a trend line, because that's what I always talk about. This one had 3 bounces and eventually broke up to the upside. I don't see it. I don't see the complaint. What's the complaint? And the idea that I was driving home was to draw your trend lines, and that tells you a good place to get out. How's that a problem? So I'm going to delete all these lines. I'm not adding anything extra other than my timeline there. So I see nothing there. Take a look at ADA. Maybe that was the one that got them all excited. Let's see which, where did we go with ADA? ADA, I'm on KuCoin as well. We're looking at it in this area. I'm on the daily chart. See that it's under the 200 moving average. Oh, that's not great. 50 just crossed the 200 there. I'm seeing this right now. Well, that's not looking too hot. Let's see what happened. Well, what did I call? Or did I? Okay, I already moved to FTM. Okay, let's go check out ADA. Or did we? Is that right? Already? No. Back on it was May 20th. Right around midnight, 11 o'clock. ADA actually topped out up there. Did she really? Am I on the right day? I'm on a 15-minute chart where we need to go back to the daily and then it'll look the same. All right, so here we were. And this is the daily. Is that the... Yeah, we're sticking with the daily. Chance to come up to the 200 moving average. I'm sure that's what I said because that's what I would think, and we didn't. Okay, we're raging, but we have not broken this trend line. We're still, you know, I don't see anything that is misleading there, other than the strategy I was giving you a way to get out and take the most profits, a line in the sand as to when to get out. That was the biggest thing that I was going over that night, was those ideas of drawing your trend lines in smaller time frames and using those as places to take profit and knowing when to finally exit a trade. That was the biggest thing that I was driving home. So if we were looking at it here during that string, we would have been looking at smaller time frame, less as a possible line in the sand to take profits. After we did this guy. That was the biggest thing I was driving home, and I don't see how that is incorrect. For the people that kind of added that technique to their trading and acted on it, they would be doing good. So to say don't listen and not give me any reasoning behind that, I'm sorry, that doesn't cut it with me. And I'm very secure and very confident in the techniques that I use and techniques that I share, because I give you evidence of how they prove out and show you the techniques behind them, the logic behind it, give you the sources behind it. So you know it's not just a YouTuber just drawing something out of their head or something that's being regurgitated, although you see that a lot. And I'm sure there are things that probably I do regurgitate that I might need to catch. So that's why I'm inviting you. If you see something that's telling you, give me some reasons. Help me to become better. If you see a flaw in my system, let me know. Come on, I'll give you props for that. If you can help me get better and help me help other people get better, that's the right thing to take. That's the right attitude, not to just come up and say, don't, what was it? What was the actual comment? Don't take advice from this person and you got nothing. Nothing. I'm giving everybody a reason to say, you kind of, that was an emotional statement, my man. That was an emotional statement without anything to back it up. And here we are on FTM. I want to go to the same exact chart I was on. How did FTM play out from whatever we forecasted or analyzed? We're looking at the possibility of it doing a nice move. It could have bouncing off the top of this trend line, or it could have come down here. To give you options of what it might be looking at. All right, let's go see how it really played out. FTM from the 20th. How did we do? That was KuCoin, right? It must have been a KuCoin night that night. KuCoin Phantom Tether here. This is the chart. Let's go back to the 20th. We were here at 12 p. No, right here. This was really close around midnight. Oh, here's this midnight the 21st. So we were right here when we were live. So, again, at a point of resistance where you should get rejected. So many signs for saying that. Now, I didn't leave the trend line up here, but that would have been the way. Whether you do it this way or that way, or whether you do a secondary trend line. The trend lines will help you get out at 89.90 cents. That's the biggest thing I was going and telling you. We're at a top area. There's resistance here. I don't know. I just don't. How not? How not? It nailed it. 92 cents. Our resistance line that we had up there. Let's go ahead. Well, let's go ahead and see what we played out here. Let's go ahead.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And here I am going over some ideas. See, there's my trend line right there telling you if it breaks, take profit. The trend is going to change right there on the daily on FTM right here. So how was that wrong? How was that wrong? How was that wrong? How is that misleading? Because this is solid alpha, tested, back tested, used by me, and you know, I'm not selling anything. I'm not shilling anything. I mean, I do have some affiliate links like Tangem card, things like that, because, you know, you got to support a channel unless you just want to pay for it all, which is what I've been doing. I've never even taken a payment yet from YouTube. Never have. I still got to fill out some information to get that. So in the whole 2 years that I've been doing this, basically I got monetized almost a year ago. I mean, $500 is all this channel is technically earned. So I'm not in here doing it for the big YouTube money. I'm not here doing it to shield a paid trading group or a paid course. I'm out here just sharing and trying to give some solid information and techniques for people that use it. And then I get people, and I expect it at some point. But I'm serious. I'm inviting you to respond, at least respond to my comment where I asked you, show me. Where am I going wrong? Where am I going wrong? Because I'm not seeing where I'm misdirecting people. I'm not seeing it. I'm giving you good ideas to put in your toolbox. Try them, test them out, use them to help you change your life like they've helped change mine. So that maybe one day you can just have an account that goes up $7,000 in the last 30 days here. Maybe you can feel comfortable enough to show your complete profit and loss here and see that the areas spot, that's just me buying and holding real world assets, that actually went down. But it was the futures that I gained $1,200 on, and the margin that I gained $6,700 on over the past 7 days using these techniques that fall within the range of this video that is being criticized. So tell me where I'm going wrong, because I really want to improve if I can improve, because I'm putting it on people that make these comments. If you're not going to help me improve, you're just fostering whoever you're commenting for to just keep throwing that same information out there if you're not going to help us realize our flaws. And so I'm asking you, tell me, because I want to know. Phantom, I think we're cool on this one. Can we all agree that was the right move? Selling there at the tops would have been a good thing, or taking profits there and trying to buy back at maybe 72 cents, wherever we come down to, 75 cents. Let's okay, so I'm going to take a little break from this. We'll come over to the chat. Let me see what you guys are saying. Crypto 420 says, let's go. Jason says, let's get 300% gain on Turbo. Turn $400 into 2,000. Hey, man. Congratulations. Sold early, but back in. That's cool. Wife convinced me to take some out. I'm a fool for that one, Nello. Well, no, I gotta say, man, that was smart. That was smart. But I know that feeling because my wife does that too. Take some out, and I'm like, no, it's not time. It's not time. Take some out. But get in the habit of paying yourself a little. Get some of that dry powder, because you never know when the market's going to flip flop, and you're like, oh man. But awesome, man. 400 into 2,000. Yes. Love to hear that. Can we look at Turbo? Yeah, we sure can. I'll do that. I think I'm about done going over this stuff unless anybody else wants to see it. But I mean, I went through and I'm going through, where did I go wrong on this? Why did I get this feedback? So I wanted to address that and just hit it front on, because I'm calling BS unless you can give me some examples. Cleo T says, let's talk about what's going on right now to make money. Okay. Are we having that kind of a stream? I can do those kind of streams. This one, I was just going to come on and just kind of dispute that, but don't think I won't close the stream out and do a live trade stream. Don't think I won't. Disclosure says, buddy for Gary. All right, let me. Okay, I want to do some requests here. We'll take Turbo. We'll take Gary because that one's been asking about a lot. Trigger says, I want to see Theta do something. Me too. Road Dog two-stepping with the heckler? Well, I thought they had an point. I mean, if you're going to come on to my show and criticize me, you got to have some facts, baby. You can't just make a comment like that. I'm going to call you out. If you got some facts behind it, then I'll look at it. And we can have an intelligent conversation and we can both grow from this experience. Otherwise, my other option is to do what every other YouTube and just delete the comments so that they can look like the man. My whole thing is about learning and experiencing and making this shit happen and showing you that it's for real. And giving you some good ways that I've found that work for me. And if they don't work for you, no hard feelings, but maybe you need to kick rocks and find somebody, that does work for you. Selena says, Jason, not through. Okay. $100 and it's almost 900. Sure was up in famous last words. But hey, man, Selena, congratulations. Wow, that was good. I had a little bit in Turbo, not very much. And I just been nibbling and taking some profits, and I haven't done it today. I peel off a little bit every day on that because I don't normally chart it. Or, can't really do limit orders and stuff like that. So Selena says, Road Dog, your TA is freaking awesome. I appreciate that, Selena. That means a lot, especially after I get some, some what could be considered hostile feedback, the way it came across. So, but I'm not here trying to shill or pull the wool over. I'm just sharing. Time to heckle Road Dog. Trigger says, number go down, but I saw it early. Must be Road Dog's fault. Yeah, that's what it is. Trade Intuition says, I love watching how others trade. Hey, Joe, how's it going? So, Joe, I don't know when you came on, but yeah, I'm just addressing some I got my first hate, or I would not hate, but I got my first what was it? Comment. Did you erase it? Do not take advice from this person. And my response is, I don't give advice. I just share TA in my opinion. Never will I advise you to jump into a coin or jump in on this person. I mean, you'll hear me say this. My intention is to say what I would do, but I never am here to direct anyone watching this channel to do any certain thing. That's where you have to be a grown-ass man or woman. Now, what happens, and the reason that you see negative comments on YouTube channels like this without any explanation, is because they're caught up in their emotions and they did something. So they misinterpreted something, or maybe they weren't listening entirely. Maybe they just came on and caught the first of the stream where I was talking about what I expected the morning guy to do with the bull flag idea to all the upside to 76,000, which I was warning against if you listened, and said, no, we're at a top and then we're likely to get rejected. And that's exactly what happened. Not that I'm a genius, but that's just what the TA was saying. And I was showing I used that as an example, and maybe it pissed people off, that if you automatically just look at a bull flag up here, the worst place to look, in my opinion, for a bull flag and expect it to play out or whatever, is at a point of resistance. That's where they love to get you there. Oh, this is not it. It's Bitcoin. It was this one, yeah. I believe this one right here, the 20th. The 20th, yeah. Oh, this is a different chart that I'm on, but. So the only thing I did on that video, and I did it early, was say, I'm expecting, a certain YouTuber the next morning to come on and do this, because that's normally that's the first thing they always see. They've got a bias for it. Pull the upside. And my warning was against it on the chart that I was actually using. This was a point of resistance. There was a trend line. There was an actual support resistance line there. And so giving you some ideas of where you can look for exits, because this is what we had. Do we have the actual? Probably should bring up the actual thing. Here, this was it. So this was the trend line, and that told you, hey man, this is a great place to take profit and maybe reconsider your ideas. And anybody who did that, anybody who applied that kind of strategy, you know, I mean, we went sideways. It could have went up, it could have, but in general, this is a great place to take profit just in case you do this. And I never deviate. If we're in a channel and we bounce off the top, I'm always saying we have a likelihood to go touch the bottom of it. And it doesn't mean that it's just going to drop down to the bottom and we can say, oh, 68. It does what it does, but it respects the trend line until it doesn't. And when it doesn't, which is something I also teach, that's an exit. That's an excellent exit strategy. Or take profit, just depending on your overall trade. So I'm compounding that. If I'm looking at Bitcoin right now, I'm looking for a possibility to come up and retest this area where we broke out of. Because by my techniques, we should come back up and at least retest the price area where we broke out of. So around 69.5. And keep in mind, we got a 100 moving average. Maybe it bails out early. I don't know. I'm just giving you areas 69.2, 69.8. And then, you know, if she gets antsy, if we get real bullish, we could come all the way back up to 7 to retouch this trend line. And then at that point, when I'm looking for Bitcoin, wherever it goes, is it going to get past those points or is it going to get rejected? Because if we can't get back into this pattern, we may be looking at more downside, maybe coming back down to 65.5, making a lower low. We don't know. Or at least retest this 200 moving average area. We've got lots of options that are over. We're just trying to figure out the probabilities. Let's get back to the chat here. I love watching Rhoda. I love watching you, Joe. Man, I learned so much from TradingView on you. If you're more a seasoned trader and you're not watching Joe, I highly recommend you to do that. You're not thinking, oh, I've got my trading system. I do this, I do that, man. Joe keeps going over the fundamentals, which are always important to keep in your head for anybody. And he knows more about how to work TradingView than anybody I've ever seen. I'm just telling you. You need to find the little secrets. Everything I would say that I would say about 80% of what I've learned on TradingView, yeah, I've copied from Joe, because he's got all these cool little tips and tricks. If he wouldn't do TA, he could actually do a real solid breakdown of just how to use the software. So it's amazing. But Joe's got great content over there. Definitely give him a watch and a follow, especially if you're struggling in the market. You got to go get that. And he teaches very solid fundamentals that, I mean, you got to know that. You got to. That's the basis of it all. Trade Intuition says 100%. Yeah, they are trading with emotion. I guess I got to make some comments to get riled up for the content. Maybe. But I didn't take it very, I didn't take it so emotional. There's some emotion behind it, yeah, when I see a comment like that. But I'm like, let's use it. I mean, I went back and saw, does he have a point? Why would he say that? And I'm looking and I'm like, I'm not seeing anything and he's not giving me anything. We got to address this. For all I know, it's a competing YouTuber with got an extra channel, maybe coming on. I don't know. I don't know how that works. 8 years trading, and that's all he could give me. But maybe I'm giving him a chance to respond. Maybe he sees something we got to address, and I'll do it. I'll come back on. We'll talk about it, discuss it, have an intelligent conversation. Maybe they even want to come on or even correspond with me, and we can get some feedback. I don't know. Let's move it. Let's help your channel grow. Get out there and put some videos out. I'm trading with 420% trading with emotion. I'm just a passionate trader, says Trey. Plus Joe says, plus we only sow what might happen due to probabilities. Okay. We only do what might happen due to probability. Yes. Given the current info. Yeah, and that info changes. We do have to, that's why we have to keep up, do this every day, keep up with what's going on. We had at that time. Yeah. We don't know what will happen, but what might happen, and we don't know till solid. Yeah, we're not fortune tellers. You can kind of interpret it maybe that way sometimes if you're not listening. But I know I come on here and you'll see this not just on my channel, but a lot of channels. There's a target that gets hit, Maybe it nails it. Maybe it actually just bounces off there. Oh, nailed it. But do I know for certain it's going? No, I don't. But I know by my strategies, those have been proven areas that there's been a reaction. And those, knowing that fits into my trading strategy around that, and I can use that information to my advantage. We're just trying to get information to use our advantage. And, you know, I just like to combine a lot of different things together. Basically, I get an idea and then I look for things to validate that, for confluence. If I get indicators that back up that idea, that's a check mark. If I get a trend line that validates that idea, that's a check mark. If I get a support resistance line that helps me validate, a Fibonacci line that helps me validate that idea, that's a check mark. If I get a lot of check marks, I find that certain areas, I find that those usually get hit. It's relevant. And that's just how, that's a simplified version of what I do with everything that I just kind of group all together. Some people hate market ciphers. Some people hate the MACD. Some people hate RSI. Some people hate the stochastics. And it's all about finding what you're comfortable with using. Some people hate moving averages. So you can't make everybody happy. So I just show people what I do, give my opinion, and that's all I can do. All right, so let's take a look at Turbo and Gary for the request, and then I want to go ahead and end the stream, I believe. Turbo, how's it doing, baby? She looked kind of hot today. Let's check it out on MexC. She got up to 0048. I guess I missed that one. Can she do it again? Let's zoom out on oh, wow. That was... So here's one of my targets. She got blasted through. But is she relevant? She might be relevant for a pullback. Let's see what we got. You broke. What is it? This is a bearish pattern, right? And what did it do? I know. Yeah. When you're down here and I'm saying that we can come up to these areas like at 0.0148, 0.0018, it sounds crazy. Until that one day it actually bounces off of that and then breaks out of the pattern. And what did it do? Breaking out of a bearish pattern, freaking went parabolic better than anything I've seen so far. That's awesome. Did I know it was going to go up there? No, I didn't. Could we have figured it out if we applied ourselves? I guarantee you, I probably got a fib line up there. And let's test it out. Could we have if we had enough insight or enough balls to make such a call? I'm confident to say, yeah, I don't know. Let's put it to the test. I don't know. I haven't done it. Is there a fib level up there? Swing high to swing low. Tell me where price is going to go. It reached the 1618, which is the perfect move. That was your top. That was your top. Swing high to swing low of 1618. That's the. She did what she was supposed to do. You rarely see me point out the 1618s because we rarely ever get it. I'm in these areas, the 1414, the 1272s. And this one nailed the 1618. That was awesome. You can't. That's solid. So now you know you're coming down. There's no question about it. You got to chill out. And that's just the fact. So if you're holding on to this now, you might want to take, anytime we get back up closer to here, you might want to think about paying yourself a little bit. Normally what you do when especially a big impulse move up like this, according to Charles Dow, price will revert to the 50% mark, which would be here. But it doesn't have to stop there, so we don't know. We don't know where it's going to bounce, but when we figure out where it's going to bounce, we have a better idea of where it can go. I know that much. So when we're playing our fibs, we're just watching it ping pong down and find a place to for support. And it could be all the way down here, 0.00173. It could be all the way down here, and a lot of times it is 0.0022. That's 618 Fibonacci area. Beautiful. Guess I can tighten up my fibbies. Tighten up my fibbies. Get my areas in there. All right, so for Turbo. Let me color code these. So that I recognize what fib lines they are. I color code things to help me understand what's going on. So we're sitting here at 0.003. Look for a possible bounce here. look for a possible bounce here. So she's going to have to go back into accumulation. I would also use trend lines to kind of give me an idea. So that kind of gives me an idea that this area here, we might get a bounce. If we do, we can look at coming back up to this area, retest it, our high, and see what happens. Now we might double top of there, not be it. But there might be another chance to get another run off a turbo from these areas, and man, that could be 140% gain. So there's a trade possibility coming. And I like that idea. So that's why I go on turbo. That's just from the daily. We can come to the 4 hour, and 4 hour looks strong. It does. She looks real strong. And she may just come on, maybe she'll come back up here and retest it again. But this is an area that it should get a strong pullback. Meaning, I mean, by Fibonacci trading, I would expect it to come back to the 618 as a general rule. But we're not there yet. We're still in our parabolic move here on the 4 hour. All right, so this curving, usually what you find, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but in my experience, this is what I have learned from these parabolic moves, is that they're good until that's broken. And this is where your trend lines come in, and you can get down as nitty gritty as you want to. We're far from it here. You can get down to a smaller time frame and find another trend line to kind of nail some profit taking areas. But if we break the major ones, what is this, 0.003 area? Expect to go through a lot more reaccumulation. So the parabola will break, and then price just kind of, does like this, and then we kind of reaccumulate, and it takes a while. So it's a good idea to take the majority of your profits during this parabolic move, because again, this is a top area, it's a top fib. She did excellent, and if you think that she's just going to blast on and keep on going, the probabilities say that that's highly improbable. But if she does, man, I'll take my licks and we'll track it. But Fibonacci says that should be it. That should be it. So I have to pay attention to that. It nailed it. It nailed it. And that's rare. That's rare. Oh, and she's really doing so. If I was following this one now, she's already broke it. She's already lost a 9 on, what are we on, the 15 minute? Because we got no really good trend line here just yet. She may still do something. Ichimoku Cloud's got a little bit of stochastics are down. It's looking like there's a possibility to come back up and retest this area. Maybe she fell just a little short, and maybe she'll come up in action. Now, I don't know. This is a zone. Don't always expect, it can happen. And maybe it's just, when I'm zooming in this close, maybe I'm off a little bit on my pull. Those are some ideas that I like to always go back and validate. But when I see where we come really close and we don't, and I did nail how I printed it, I interpret that as when we may come back and actually touch it and then get rejected. Might happen. May just come down here. I don't know. We just go by probabilities, baby. So I'm looking at the bottom of this trend line, and I'm looking at rejection. So I've got these two areas to contend with, and that's what I see on smaller time frames. She's in a kind of, if I had to guess and call this anything, she's very kind of symmetrical to me, and I don't trust those. I don't like them, so I would be looking here as an idea. All right, let's take a look at Gary. Gary's been having a hard time. Or Gary. I call it Gary. That's a lot of ups and downs on those candles, though. A lot of buy and a lot of sell pressure. Yeah. So still looking at the idea of this trend line being retested at 2 cents. On the daily, we're still below the 9 moving average, so we're on a downtrend. So I would expect 0.2 cents or maybe even 0.15 if this area does not hold. Hopefully this area will hold and we can start reclaiming some ground. But now we got all of our moving averages have flipped to the negative side, so we're officially, by my moving average strategy, in bearish territory for whatever reason for Gary. So she's going to be coming down and accumulating, in my personal opinion, for a while. And she has a possibility of making a double bottom. I got to throw this idea out there, and I think we discussed that area over here. So it might see 0.009 at some point. It just have to take it level by level and see where it finds support and if it can regain higher highs. That's what we're looking for. But she could technically come all the way down here. So with it being below the 9, with it being below all these moving averages, taking a little risk aspect might, you know, be something to think about. Again, this is not advice. I'm just throwing out my opinions. You guys are grown-ass men and women capable of making your own decisions. And that's the thing that I got to drive home about, you know, people that take the advice, you know, don't give a good reason for what they say there. Emotional trading. You could have the most perfect setup. I mean, a lot of the setups I get, have you seen the ones that, let's say the one that plays out perfect, but it's how I traded that matters. It's how I manage that trade. And that's one of the biggest things that I'm pushing out there, that makes, you can have the perfect setup and know where to get in and where to get out. But while you're making that trade and manage it and actually letting it play out, anything goes. You see it all the time on YouTube. How many times have you seen, I watched someone talking about this today, and they were telling people not to do what they did, and without addressing that they do the same things, get all emotional. But how many times do you see? That's not even a good example. How many times do you see a trade setup where they go through and plan one out with a target, stop loss, and everything, and then you know you get your breakout or whatever, you start coming up, and then as soon as it turns, they're out. How many times? That's emotional. That's not trading the plan. And I heard one talk about where you shouldn't set your stop loss unless you're cool with losing that area. But how many times do you see these people, as soon as it gets in the red, if it doesn't take off, or if it comes back into the red just a little bit, they're out. It's easier said than done, for real, and you need to watch and see the actions on how well that they actually trade what they're saying. Because I drive this home, because if you're looking for a risk reward ratio, let's say you're looking for that 4-to-1 risk reward ratio, which you should be looking for at least a 3-to-1. But if you play that game and that's where you get out, your risk to reward ratio was 1-to-1, and that is a trade I would never take. I would never want to do that. I would pass on that. So consider that idea. It's not as juicy when it's all said and done, and that's why you see people having to use $1,800 trades to make $50, $60. The risk to reward ratio sucks in actuality how they played it out. However, how many times have you seen, now not every time, but how many times have you seen if they just left it alone, let it play out, they could hit that target and made that gains, but instead they're just piecemealing it. In, out, in, out. And the advice they give you is do that 10 times a day. But do they do it 10 times a day? Do they show you? Their account balance doesn't show that they're making the gains like that. They're making some, and then they're losing some. And I never hear the discussion about the lessons we learned from when we got in and got out, or lost, or won. It's just, oh, there it is. I'm so great. And if you'd listen to me, you would be in the money. And that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because just being a member of a group, just watching a channel, just watching a trade, just doing the TA is not the same as actually putting your money in there and making that money. That's what counts. That's what counts. And, you know, if you got a strategy to make $1 million, $50 at a time, God bless you, honey, but that strategy ain't for me. And that strategy just is not realistic. It's not. There's my takes. So we looked at Gary. Gary's not looking too happy right now, so she's got some consolidation to do. Let's come back to the Dave P says, how about TAI? TAI. I don't know if I'm familiar with this one. I've looked at it. I got something on it. So what we got? That's a daily. Let's come down. So interesting thing. We were tracking a channel. That's the last I saw of it. Or no, we have a. I don't know what the hell this is. So this didn't happen. We lost that. We came up, retested that trend line. Keeping that trend line. Just keep it out. Still valid. Still valid. Let's get rid of the extra one. I'm pretty cool with those angles. That's what we had, right? So broke it, retested, but yet we didn't drop. We kept making higher highs or higher lows. So basically, you know, we started developing another little trend line there, right? Is this a line? The biggest thing, so that's kind of cool. I would track that. I didn't. I wasn't watching it. I haven't looked at this thing. But, you know, it's the same things that I'm always talking about. If you break back into that trend line, expect a strong move. And where to? Well, the top of the pattern that you are. And it did it perfectly. It did it perfectly. And this is in retrospect, but this is what I talk about all the time. This is the same thing. I'm telling you the same things over and over. Ichimoku Cloud looks really excited. RSI is topped out. She needs to chill out. There may be a pullback, and she may try to break out and actually hit this target at 20 cents. That might be happening. Or more. Or more. This is... Could we look at this as a... If we're looking at this channel, I could consider that a bear trap. It's kind of iffy. Maybe you want to just take that new information. I'm all for that, too. That's what I recommend we do. If you do that idea, well, that kind of increases our odds for some interesting action. It also increases our odds for some lower price targets. So adding information as we go, imperative. Following our trend lines. So we got this little guy. So there's an idea. That's also a line to support. This is the thing I'm looking at, and this looks good actually. That looks better than this one, to be honest with you, because it's respecting these angles. And I'm with WD Gann on that. I think price respects angles a lot. I think angles, paying attention to angles will help you with the market. That's a tip from WD Gann, and I internalize it. I don't know every way that he does it, but I'm learning whatever I can, whenever I can, because well, he was just the GOAT. 1 hour is looking awesome. So do you expect to maybe come back up and retest this 16-cent area? I don't expect. Here's the thing. Trend line. When it breaks, take your profit, pay yourself. On the 1 hour, great one. Nail it, go off. If you want to do a 15, you can do a 15. Trend line, just tighten it up. If she breaks it, take profit. If she keeps it going, let her ride. My trend line strategy to help you know when to get out, you just keep narrowing it down and you keep tracking. 15-minute, now you got a great take profit area. Or you can go with a 9-moving average strategy, taking price whenever we brought rolling the 9. It's good. You might not get the little top, the high at 13.8 and sell at 11.6. You're like, no, that sucks. Well, yeah. That's why I like the trend line strategy just a little bit better than the 9-moving average, because you can get it up there a little sooner. You didn't nail 15.5, but you know. Listen, would you rather take some profit? Would you rather miss 15.5 and get out at 14 rather than to ride it all the way down to 11? That's the choice that you're having to make at these points. That's the decision I'm trying to help you to realize. But what if I just go ahead and get out now? Well, okay. But what if it bounces off that trend line and keeps going on and you miss letting it ride? That's the beauty of this trend line strategy that I'm trying to drive home. So if you're really active, you got to be active in the charts, or, you know, set stop losses beneath them to really take advantage of it, because you take your eyes off the game, I mean, you could lose it and then you lost your move. So this is for when you're actively in the charts. It's a great strategy for that. If you're just going to come back to it, you may come back later and find, oh crap, we lost our trend line. I missed my move. So you got it's a great strategy for your day traders, I believe, which is what Mr. Commenter was, live day trading. And so I'm kind of guessing maybe he got offense to that move. Maybe he's, I don't know, but it's another way to look at it. And I think it's very solid. I think it's very solid if you're going to be a day trader. You're going to be flirting with these 1-minute moves here, because that's popular. rather than trying to just jump out and when you just barely touch green. This is a technique that you can use to help you nail higher take profit areas than you might normally do. The only way to get these guys is to get real ballsy, maybe get on the smaller. I don't recommend it. Just let it go, maybe. Let it go. Or maybe those are your times where you can FOMO out. FOMO take profit on those big. Why not? But the real line in the sand is the trend line. You know, if you ever come back and touch it and break it, well, it's not so fun, is it? Trend lines are your friends, my friends. Trend lines will give you so much information. Joe says, I mentioned that today in my group he was trading on emotions. Risk reward looked good on chart, but sold early. Dude, you know that we're talking about his, his risk reward. That's the biggest. I'm like, I've never gotten that neat. When you've been doing TA for a while and you look at other people that do TA, you can kind of put some things together. And you know that if they're not respecting these things, well, he picked it up from somebody else because it looks cool to use the little tool. It makes him look awesome. Lots of appeal. But he doesn't really understand the concepts or he wouldn't be doing what he's doing. He wouldn't. Dude's been trading leverage for a year now, and he first messed up by taking funds in and out and not just leaving it out there and being transparent about everything. That, to me, I mean, if you're being transparent about all their trades and everything, I think that's the best way to help people learn. Well, maybe we'll save that for the group. I don't know, man. I don't know, but I just know by watching, you know, there's still a lot of things that and I've also noticed he is picking up on some more things. He's gradually figuring some things out. Some of the things that I've pointed out before, I said he's starting to pay attention to them a little bit more. So he's getting a little better. He's actually moving his stop loss to entry now, or at least talking about that idea. I don't know if he's actually doing it, but I think he's done that a few times. Now he can see that. If he would just pay himself a little bit instead of jumping all the way out. But I don't know. There's just all different things. I mean, everybody's got their own style, what they're comfortable with. That's where he's at. My only beef is that he just, you know, there's losses there that he does not talk about or explain, and those are perfect learning opportunities. So what you said, swallow your pride and say, this is where I screwed up, or this is what I could have done differently. Those are the learning moments. And we don't get enough of that. We don't get enough of that. And I don't know, maybe there's that fear, oh, you're a big YouTuber, you should never get stopped out or liquidated, but I think, man, I've got liquidated because I do same stupid stuff. I get too many accounts going on, trying to follow too many trades. I'm going to lose track of them, and I've done that. I've shown you that on my CoinEx thing. I got hurt because I took my eye off the ball. And it's, you know, that's the learning experience. Don't have too many freaking, that's one thing to learn. And whatever else that I skipped over. I didn't listen to my TA, or it was my fault why I lost. But those are good learning experiences because those are the real lessons we need to learn. It's not, oh, Price did this, I need to make this. Sometimes it's, hey man, sometimes you need to zoom out. Sometimes you need to chill on how many positions that you open. Sometimes you need to chill on how much you put in a trade. Sometimes you need to chill on how much leverage these things are excellent talking points on a failed trade, in my personal opinion, and I don't think we get enough of it. And I should start doing that more myself. So I can't sit here and say that I do that on every trade that I do either. But that's the best ways to learn. Sometimes I think people just don't care. I don't know, but you know, the more transparent we are, the more we're really sharing and creating an educational environment, in my personal opinion. And you don't always get that. So, but what I can do is be as transparent as possible. And, you know, show my profit and loss, and even, it was mostly doing futures. And I've been on the up and down ride. I ain't gonna lie. These are the same trades I've had open. I've not closed. I've managed them. I have not closed them. And luckily now I'm you know, I went in the red on here and had to do some management. Yet I have techniques that I can use that, I'm not saying this is the best thing to do, but I'm saying sometimes you get in situations and there's little tricks that you can use in those situations. Those are some educational ideas. They can be misused. You could get into some bad habits, but knowing the tricks that can help get you out of bad situations is a good thing. I had to use some of those tricks over here. I've got a $3,000 contract Bitcoin USD trade over here, 29%. But here, let's go with position history. Here I am. My last closed trade was 519. This trade has been open, and I've just been managing it. I've taken profits, adding here, adding there, and it's been really cool. I mean, I would get below my entry price and still be in some awesome profits. And I had I could just get out now, but I'm like in a little bit of profit. But I'm like, my bigger thesis says, you know, we're going to bounce back. So I played it. I could have been easily wrong. So let's see what we've got all together, shall we? How does Road Dogg perform? There's 10 trades on here, and I got 2 losses. This is 80%. So I got 2 out of 10. And then here I've got 5 out of 5. So whatever that comes up to. Yeah, can we, I don't know, just 70, at least 70, 75%. Now my losses, my gains, my profit and loss, I always try to get more than what I lose. Doesn't always work out that way. This was kind of a bigger loss. I lost 11% on this. It was a smaller trade though, I think, right? Please let it be a smaller trade. But you know, and this was 20%. That's one of my bigger ones. I did take some bigger ones, and this, I think this was when this was 503, 504, whatever's happened in the market that day. She kind of got to me, right? I wiped out some gains. They weren't huge trades though. I had a bigger trade than one. You know, there's some things to look at here. But overall, I'm gaining more than I'm losing. That's all we can ask for to try to grow an account. And this account, I think it's 3,000, something like that. And I'm at 51, and I've been down to 47 in the past day or two. I mean, I gave it, pretty much saw all my unrealized gains go out the window, but now we're coming back into it. And now I'm going to be a little bit more cautious about this. But at one time, this Bitcoin trade I think I got 3,000 contracts right now. I had 10,000 contracts. And we got to, and I did that so I could de-risk when we got to a certain point. And when we got there, I de-risked. Price could have went up and I could have made some profit, but that wasn't my purpose. I wanted to make sure I could de-risk when we got to a level. One of the little tips and tricks that I've got in case you get yourself caught in a negative, which I should probably do a stream and talk about that, a private membership stream. Just some ideas. Striker says, yeah, I haven't closed anything. I mean, it's a two-edged sword to say this, but you haven't lost until you realized it, and you haven't gained until you realized it. And, I'm working on trying to realize a little bit more gains and take those profits in those areas, because I do have a tendency to kind of not do that as much. That's what I'm working on. I know that's what I need to work on, and working on it seems to help me. That's what this channel is about, just sharing ideas, sharing the real deal, man. What do we really go through when we're out here trading? Because it's not just the setup. It's not just the TA and the setup. It's the execution and the management. Managing your emotions and having a good little system to tell you when you need to possibly think about paying yourself. All right, guys, that's what I got today. I went over the request that we had, and that's the biggest thing I want to go. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to get off of here and get back to trading and let Joe. Joe's got a 3 p.m. stream. If you don't follow Joe, why not? But basically on my stream, what I did today is went back on the video that got commented and going through the setups. And man, I'm sorry, but those setups, I'm not seeing where any of them should be criticized. Maybe I'm missing it. Give it to me. Give me some evidence. If you got some critiques about my style, I welcome it because I want to get better. And if you got something solid to help me and to help me help others, or help me not to give others bad stuff, you need to be sharing, mister. So let's go look at Joe's So Trade Intuition is getting ready to do a live stream here at 3 o'clock. Joe. Let me tell you something about Joe. I joined a trading group because I was lost in this, and it helped give me some direction. It wasn't the greatest, but it gave me a start, and I do respect the mentor for that. I don't know what's going on in that person's life, but hey. Now, I left that group because it was kind of like, well, this is about as far as it's going to get, okay? There wasn't much going on, just trade setups, whatever. There wasn't truly education other than stream shares, which is basically kind of what you see me do on streams. That's that same kind of idea, just sharing thought, feelings. That's where I learned the most, and that's what I do here on YouTube, is kind of go through those old ideas, because that's what helped me the most. But now, when I came back, after I started this channel, I joined that trading group again because I'm like, well, they do setups. They might have something there that I can share and give them full credit, because I don't take credit for somebody else's ideas. Every time I posted them, I gave them credit, whoever set it up. So if it was Joe, you'll see Joe's trade setups. If I've copied them and put them over there from that group, Trip or anybody else that was in that group. But when I went back the second time, the guy had stepped up the game, man. And I thought, oh, dude, I was disappointed in your trading group before, but now you've actually brought in teachers that are like actually getting on here with live videos and giving feedback and teaching people. I mean, I was past the point of needing that myself, but it was really good alpha. And yeah, I paid attention because it goes back over the fundamentals. Why not? Get a refresher. It was Joe. So I personally know how Joe teaches and the stuff that Joe teaches, and I know his background. I've seen him work in a trading group, and he's just a real great guy with some solid information. And if you don't know what he's teaching, because this is the fundamentals of TA, if you don't know this, well, I mean, you're not going to have any luck adding anything on top of it if you want to, because what he's teaching you is good enough to do it. So check out Joe. He's got some great alpha over there. 857 subscribers. Give him some love, because he's out here teaching. Now, Joe does have a group, and some of you guys may want a group. I'm not a big group proponent. I don't have a paid group. I'm not going to shield one. But if I were going to recommend one, it would be somebody like Joe, who's being transparent and actually going in there, working his ass off with all these updates and all these little videos and stuff, because he's putting that work in. He deserves that pay. Me, I'm cool with having a little free group that we can discuss, a little community, ask questions. I'm there giving resources. That's what I do in my group. I give you the educational materials, point you in the right direction. If you need some advice or just a second opinion on something, I'm there for you. People don't do that much. Joe, on the other hand, has something totally different going on. He is actually walking people through it. I don't have time for that. I don't plan on doing that. So if you feel like you need some hand-holding, you want Joe. Some of you do. If you just want some good all-around alpha, you need Joe. So go give him a shout out. My love to Joe. My respect for Joe. Joe's earned my respect. And I'm sure Joe watches my channel. He's like, oh God, Road Dog, don't do that. I mean, we have different ways of looking at things. Sometimes we may not always agree, but Joe's teaching those fundamentals that you can't disagree with the fundamentals. Sorry. I throw out some stuff that you may not look at, may not see happen very often. I have some things I put together. It may be for you, may not be for you. I'm just presenting them. You take it and do with it what you will. I make no act, I'm just showing you what I do and talking about what I do. And that's all I can do. Go, Ty. Did you see that? On the 1 minute chart, she just got a bump off of here. Yeah, let's put it up there. We should be retesting this area at 15. Maybe get up to 15.5. Whoever asked for that one, she's starting to look good and juicy. She's moving. Get her going through that red cloud. Guys, I gotta get off here. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you tonight on our live stream. God bless. Trade carefully, trade wisely. Go out there and nail it, baby. Nail it.
Come on, come here, boy. Come on. You freaky dog. I don't need to analyze. Every word that comes out is a lie. Make it look like it's so ice. You won't make it to the finish line. Now if you gotta know the truth was gonna let you go. You was fine, never mind, unpredictable. Fade out of the ground, you ain't no one. You was star, blew it up like supernova. In the nighttime, hit my hotline. Sharing secrets, you was really was part your life. Basic bullets, with no bullets. Does your wifey know you're begging for my nudies? Promise you're the same. Running for the meds. Sure you like my vibe. That's my candy.